They're both real estate professionals themselves, which could pose a problem for both or one. So the proposed settlement to me reads that this is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 321 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
Commission sharing sites are also up, Nicole. So we're going to talk about that. There's two sites in particular. We're going to break them down where there's commission sharing happening or about to be happening. One of the sites is a little bit unclear to me. We're going to break those two down, what that means. And there's also a new website purchase that, if we've got time, I'd like to get to. Mr. Cooper purchased Xome. This starts to be thinking about Mr. Cooper, maybe the way you think about Opendoor. I'll get to that a little bit later. But first, let's get into the commission sharing sites. RealEstateNews.com says commission sharing sites are cropping up. They pose the question, will they last? While Inman's headline is commission disclosure platform aims to sidestep NAR, MLS rules. One of the sites is called Nest Hook. The other one is called listingsplit.com. Based off the name, Nicole, which one do you lean towards?
Yeah, no, I mean, I love Listing Split. I just said to you, I was like, we should have bought some domains when this all went down.
I am a domain
Whore.
buyer. I was going to let you use the word. I don't want to get in trouble in the comments for using
you're even going to be like selling your kids' name domains to them when they're ready.
I own those names. But yes, thank you for using the word that we commonly refer to my domain buying practices
How
as.
many do you have? Do you know? You must get emails from GoDaddy like constantly.
Like every week. Do you want to renew this one?
I bet.
Yeah, we'd have to ask Jill from
emailing you,
Dan.
telling you what like their site is worth. I mean, you must be riddled with GoDaddy emails.
I have actually the house I just sold in Naples. Somebody that lives in the community, I ended up golfing with him by chance and met him. And he lives in my community. Anyways, he's a domain broker. So now I've gone to the next level in my obsession of domains, and I have him looking into, like, he's got the inner.
We were dealing with a broker for a website. Remember, what were we trying to buy?
Oh, that was way back. But that was like one of those like GoDaddy brokers. This is like a legit
guy
broker.
Huh.
You know, it's yeah.
Does he have to put his commission on Listing Split?
Yeah, they get 10%.
Wow. Okay.
They get 10%.
I wonder what people are like. How did he say like what the biggest sale was that he ever made? Like, what did like?
Oh yeah, he shows me. So it's interesting. There's a website. I forget the website, but it's an old school website, and they list every month the top sales for domains. It'd blow your mind. We're talking 7-figure domain sales happening every single month. Anyways,
people spend money just for like IG handles too.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. But domains are still selling for a lot, and it shows you also. Here's an interesting thing about domains.
Yeah.
When you look at this site, actually, I can pull up. I'll find his text. I gotta have him saved here. Domain. Yeah. Here he is, Steve. The site is dnjournal.com.
Okay.
DN Journal is the domain industry news magazine, and it'll show you. So here's one, Nicole. On May 15th, gold.com sold for $8.5 million.
Wow. Gold.com. All right, now let's see what actually is on gold.com now.
But here's one, Nicole. Sometimes there's nothing. It's just a holding website, and then the sale, and whoever the buyer is going to do something with it. But there may not be anything on gold.com. There may be. They may or may not.
Well, it brings you to JM Bullion. It's just
okay. I promise we're going to get to the commission sharing websites in a minute. We went down a little rabbit hole. Here's another one. In the last 30 days, TP.com.
TP, like toilet paper?
Or hey, back in my day, did they ever do this in your high school, Nicole? This little symbol here?
No.
TP.
No.
True player for
You
real?
also watched Mr. Cooper. I mean, you really
We're gonna get to
did.
the Mr. Coo who remembers the Mr. Cooper show? But if you ever had somebody, if your daughter's ever got a photo with somebody and they're doing this, that's the TP side, true player for real.
Ch
All right,
Oh,
anyways,
geez. Yeah, I
uh,
hear TP, I think toilet paper.
I know most people probably $1.2 million for TP.com. Those two-letter .com sell for a lot of money. Here's a real estate one. Rural.com just sold for 550,000 on May 29th. Rural. Do you think
Rural.
real estate when you think rural? Maybe not.
No. So TP is teleperformance.com. It just forwards it there. Wow, they
Bagels
really
bagels.com 500 grand. Peace
I would buy bagels.
peace.com 400,000.
Oh, so bagels goes to justbagels.com.
But you see here number 10 had a .ai, sound.ai sold for 250,000, and the more you look at this list, you start to see my point was .ai starts to creep up. We're way off a topic.
So far
Anyways,
off topic, but it's kind of exciting.
you can go play around with that website if you wanted to. So two people went out, both from the real estate according to Real Estate News, both of the founders of Nest Hook and Listing Split, they went out and bought these domains, Nest Hook and Listing Split.
Yep.
Are obviously entrepreneurs. They're starting these new businesses, but they're also in the industry.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would agree with you. I like the word, I
Listing
like the
split.
domain Listing Split. It
Yeah,
tells me what it is. Okay. I know what
exactly.
that is. Nest Hook, I don't understand the name yet. Maybe they'll build a brand around it. Maybe we'll understand it someday. They're both real estate professionals themselves, which could pose a problem for both or one. So the proposed settlement to me reads that if you're a professional, you wouldn't be able to circumvent the MLS and display this outside of your own brokerage website. This is not that. Okay. Listingsplit.com. Now, there is a big difference I see with Listing Split and Nest Hook. Okay.
Yep.
So here's the reasons they want to do it, and then we'll get into the differences between the two sites. The reason they want to publish offers of compensation is they want to ease agents' workload. That makes sense, right? We
Right.
know that there's going to be a lot of phone calls, emailing, texting, chasing down potentially listing agents who are super busy, non-responsive, on vacation,
Can you imagine being the listing agent and getting all those calls too? Ugh.
getting all the right. Well, it's part of the job now. I mean, it's high
I
levels of
know.
communication or being able to um, maybe AI and auto replies are out there. Okay. So you could set up your email to hey, for all concerning agent information, text me 123 Main Street to
Yeah.
this number or to this, and an automated response goes out with detailed information that agent, hey, email me this keyword, or you could use ManyChat.
Or you could do that showing time feature, when everyone, like, sends out, like, the mass emails for, like, highest and best. You
You
could
could do the mass email, but
Yeah,
that might get missed.
for
But if
sure.
you say text or email a specific word to a specific handle that you set up for each property, and all the agent remarks off MLS agent remarks are going to come automatically to you. That could be a way to automate that so that I don't have to bother you. I can get that information quickly. I can share that with my buyer. So I think that could happen. Obviously, really good listing agents would probably adopt that pretty quickly, pretty easily
Yeah,
as a
I think so
system.
too.
But then we know, kind of to your point, sometimes there are listing agents out there that you just can't get a hold of for anything. It's like, hey, I sent you an
Mhm.
offer 3 days ago, and
Right.
I sent it to your at yahoo.com because that's what's on the
Your
MLS, and
AOL.
I don't even know if it went
Yahoo?
to spam or
Yeah.
does anybody still have a Yahoo? That inbox is insane to categorize. I couldn't imagine doing real estate work in a Yahoo email. I just do my fantasy football there. Anyways, okay. The big issue with the new rule changes, according to Listing Split founder Steve Hatton, I think he's out of Illinois when I looked him up, was the new rule change will be extra workload for agents who may end up making or fielding more calls. Again, I think that could be automated. My goal is to solve the problem, eliminate all those phone calls as a buyer agent. I don't want to make 50 phone calls to go show properties and find out the seller is not interested. Well, it's yeah, that's where you get into a sticky situation. Like, if the seller is not interested in comp, you're not going to show the property to your buyer. Okay, that's where you're going to have a problem, bro.
Right. Well, but
Anyways,
this is interesting though too, because if you go onto his website though, it's talking about the fact that it's a good place for buyers to go to so they know if their agent will be compensated, so that obviously then they wouldn't have to compensate their agent.
okay, so do commission sharing sites benefit consumers? This is from the CEO of T360. T360 owns realestatenews.com. T360 has obviously over the years been a a data resource, and they provide a lot of data about the industry. So Jack Miller, CEO, says people who are trying to work around the intention of the NAR settlement and the DOJ, which we know their intentions or a little bit of them. Go back and listen to last week's Real Word if you're confused about where the DOJ stands. They just spoke recently. They're really running a risk of further antitrust claims, is according to Miller, CEO of T3. And I would say it's unnecessary. He doesn't think that these sites are necessary.
Right.
What a seller and a listing agent can do is they can say concessions are available to the buyer, because none of these sites are using the concession
Right.
to help make concessions more
So
clear.
maybe
Now
look into that domain.
yeah. Oh, good. Let's go. Let's do it. Um, if you go and listen to Friday's Knowledge Brokers pod over at Knowledge Brokers Podcast, Tom Toole and I have a discussion about these concessions, because Northwest MLS and an MLS in California now are they're updating their concession fields. I'm sorry, it's Northwest MLS is the one that said they're not during the NAR settlement. A California one, and Bright, which is one of the biggest in the country, so they're a leader in MLSs, are updating their concession field to be able to basically include what that seller compensation is, and that or total concessions to the buyer, so I guess
Yeah.
you read between the lines. That to me also still a gray area. So I know that you can put concessions, but the proposed settlement to me sounds like putting exact commission in there might be a little too far. This early wave of sites, these two sites, providing compensation details, don't provide any real value to consumers, suggests Miller. Here's his quote: "There's absolutely nothing creative about this. This is the industry and industry participants attempting to work around the settlement rules. And that is not a new business model that improves services for the consumer. That does not reduce costs. It doesn't make the transaction more efficient, and it doesn't create greater transparency and harmony." I certainly don't think it makes it more efficient. I got to go from MLS now to
Right.
listingsplit.com or nesthook.com. Okay.
You know what this kinda reminds me of? It reminds me of the, Greg thing.
Greg from Succession,
No,
cousin Greg the egg.
I mean, we always go back to Succession. Somehow you get there. No, from episode 1 when the Stop
Greg
Zillow,
Haig,
yes, it's like
who
kind of
started Stop Zillow and now has the company 72 sold. I was thinking him
it
earlier.
I feel like it's kind of that sort of like it's like it just feels this feels like that.
The Stop Zillow, not the 72 sold. He's crushed it
Correct.
with 72 sold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, no,
Okay.
no, with the Stop Zillow, yeah, like,
Right. This
it was
feels
this
like,
website where you almost had, like, it was like pocket listings, like, it was like
yeah.
it but it was like a whole 'nother like, no one's gonna go off MLS, like, in my mind, like, you're not gonna check 4 other sites to get all of your information, you know what I mean? I don't know if
Oh,
that
totally.
what?
No, totally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Totally. And that's why we had a problem. You and I had a problem. We flew out to see Greg in
I
Arizona.
mean,
Now, Greg's a
he
smart
had a crazy amount of supporters, his house was sick, I mean,
house. His house is unbelievable.
it was insane-o.
So
Yeah,
he was already a very successful broker,
correct.
entrepreneur, he's a big thinker. Greg Haig's a big, big, big thinker. And he's crushed it with 72 sold, an auction style 72-hour sale. Not really auction, but similar to that, where you create a 72-hour buzz It's a play off of an auction. Anyways, this feels more like his Stop Zillow campaign, to
Yes.
your point,
Yes.
where it's just like, this isn't going to work. Okay. So
Kinda.
let's take the websites one by one. Nest Hook, never going to work. Okay. This website, when I'm comparing the two websites, the name is much worse. And the website, I know these are beginning websites,
Yeah.
templates, boiler, all this kind of stuff. Nest Hook, which they went and trademarked the name. Maybe they can use it for something else on
They
the road.
probably would. I mean, I feel like it's the like Nest, like, isn't there already a Nest? What is that? Isn't that like a camera? The Nest,
Oh, they're
right?
not.
Isn't the camera a Nest, right?
Yeah, you got to look it up now, because now I have to know. Look it up while I
I don't know
explain
why
what's going
I'm
on with this website. Nesthook.com. You open and it's got this little A-frame
Oh, it's the
house.
thermostat, the
The
thermostat.
thermostat. There
Yeah,
you
I'm
go.
sorry.
That's correct.
Yeah.
A little A-frame house on a hill. Fine photo, whatever. And then the caption here is compliant commission disclosure for real estate pros. I actually don't know that this is compliant, by the way, because this person who started the website is a real estate professional. If you were a third party, it might be, not impacting you scraping this data or having this data uploaded, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Um, the user experience of these properties is not creative, to Jack Miller's point. It doesn't do anything for me. I click on this, and to unlock it, it says I got to pay $3.99 a month. So nesthook.com clearly geared towards agents paying them $3.99 a month
Right.
to find out what the commissions are.
Mhm.
Again, I'm calling all listing agents before I
I'm
make
spending
I'm just
$4.
going to talk to them anyways.
Yeah.
But anyways, listingsplit.com, much more user-friendly site. Definitely a lot more money
Well,
put into this
much
website.
more helpful. You at least know what's going on here, how it works, searching, pricing. Yeah.
There's already an app built out, or no, coming early June 2024 for Apple and for Google. So you have both Google Play and iOS apps that are coming out. The website certainly is much more robust, and it's actually a very beautiful website. The name's better, listingsplit.com. But now this is geared towards sellers and buyers. And,
Correct.
I just got I just got a issue with buyers and sellers really. So it's like the website's better. You think so? It's free for the first 30 days, their current model, and then $19 for one time. So
Huh.
number one, why would a seller care what everybody else is offering in commission?
So they link the listings out to Zillow.
Are the sellers going to upload their listing, display compensation for up to
Yeah.
12 months? You pay nothing if you remove the listing within 30 days. So I guess
Right.
the sellers but this isn't going to become, this is confusing to me.
Very confusing.
Then you pay $19 one-time fee. Buyers get to view properties that cover their commission first.
That's why it's a one-time fee.
Listen, if brokerages start putting the commissions on their own website, that information is going to be all over the internet. Why am I going to come to Listing Split? I kind of agree with Jack Miller here. I don't see these really going anywhere.
No, but
These are living in a major gray area. For the one website to say that this is the most compliant commission disclosure for real estate pros,
Yeah.
not getting that vibe at all. And it does seem like the MLSs are going to make the moves necessary for communication between agents to persist in that platform. And if that's the case, nobody will use any of these websites.
Right.
83% of consumers use Zillow and Realtor.com. You're going to be hard pressed to pull consumers from those two websites into websites that they've never heard of, that certainly they're paying a fee for. They don't pay a fee to go
Right.
and use the two biggest brands. You could throw Redfin in the mix and Homes.com in the mix, and that'll make up 90+% of traffic. And consumers currently aren't paying to use those platforms right now. So it doesn't make a lot of sense why they would go. Inman points out, as well as, Real Estate News, Whether it runs afoul of the new rules remains unclear. And I agree with that. This is unclear to me if this does follow the rules, despite the claims that they are. DOJ hasn't weighed in, and I don't think you're going to get consumer adoption. So, but let us know what you think down below. More importantly, I'd love to share your thoughts in the comments. Is this a resource that you see you need come August 17th, or are you willing to feel it out and have a higher level of communication with agents? Maybe are you counting on your MLS like we've seen in California and Bright? Say, hey, we're going to take care of this deal through concessions, obviously, until maybe the DOJ pushes back. All right, I want to talk about Mr. Cooper, not the show from the 90s, which Nicole, play the clip, play the song real quick. Play the song. For those of you that remember that little jingle, that little show.
A jingle? That's not a jingle.
So that's
it's
that jam.
The jam, yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of Mr. Cooper. But Mr. Cooper Group is a big company, and maybe when you hear the name, you should be thinking about it differently. I might argue now, with their acquisition of Xome, that you might even start thinking about them like you think of Opendoor. I'll get to that in a minute. But Mr. Cooper Group, when you go onto it, so you can go to mrcooper.com, and that's going to be about financing. That's going to be mortgage. Okay. That's buying a home. Will knock 1% off your rate for a full year. So they're a leading discount. They're leading with a discount model. Mr. Cooper's 1% mortgage markdown discounts your monthly payment by reducing your interest rate by a full percentage point for 1 year. We're also offering up to $1,500 in credit for future refinance. So they're coming at you with discount. Super user-friendly website and all of that on mrcooper.com. Originally a mortgage company, now buying Xome, getting into the real estate space. When you go on mrcoopergroup.com, which encompasses all their brands, their headline is, "We keep the dream of home ownership alive," as if it's dying. Like the hidden message in there is home ownership is dead. We're here to save you. Mr. Cooper Group is going to keep it alive. It's like MAGA, Nicole. Can I say that on YouTube? Make America great again. The hidden message in there is America's not great.
Right.
Whether you hate, obviously, this is not about politics, but it's the same. Mr. Cooper Group is using the same type of point. Home ownership is dead. America is not great, right? To say I'm the savior. Okay. It's a very, I think that they'll get a response out of that, just like the other one has. So Mr. Cooper Group
I've never heard of Mr. Cooper Group. You've heard of it before?
I was having a conversation with CEO of Zudelio. Shout out to Zudelio.
Yeah.
They love agents. We may find out here that Mr. Cooper Group does not love agents, but I know Zudelio does. They generate a lot of leads for agents. But I was having a conversation with Kayla, and she brought the sale to my attention. I had kind of missed it. Housing Wire's reporting on it, as well as others. And honestly, I did not have much familiarity with Mr. Cooper Group myself. Okay.
No, I'm just reading up on it now as we sit here.
They have Rushmore Servicing. They have Mr. Cooper. Now they have Xome. So it's Mr. Cooper Group. Just to give a little context here, it's in their words, Mr. Cooper Group is a family of companies dedicated to making home ownership less stressful and more rewarding. For more than 25 years, we've led the home loan industry with a philosophy that keeps the homeowner at the center of everything we do, from best-in-class servicing and originations to cutting-edge products and technology. Mr. Cooper Group has become not only the most trusted partner for home owners, but a pillar of strength in the housing market. They were recently, what was the name that they went before Mr. Cooper Group? Maybe not recently. Mr. Cooper Group, former name. I'll look that up here. Mr. Cooper Group, former name. Nation Star Mortgage. Okay, refinancing and mortgage company was.
So where did Mr.
previous
Cooper come from? I wonder.
They loved that show from the 90s.
That's what I'm thinking. Now that I know that there's a show.
Who didn't love Mr. Cooper? Okay, so on their website, they put out a headline. This is their press release about the acquisition of Xome. Xome democratizes real estate with launch of DIY sales platform, No agent required. So this is where I'm going to make the comparison to Opendoor. Opendoor made these claims. You don't need an agent. Agents are bad. They came out of the gates swinging hard against agents. The word democratize is something we've heard from Rich Barton and others in the industry that want to use these big, pretty words to explain what they're doing. They're the saviors. Remember, they're going to come and save the industry and make it better. Okay. Well, when Opendoor tried to use this language that agents are bad, that they're here to save the day, what happened to them? They ended up getting sued. Okay. The FTC said, you're lying to people.
Right.
Nearly 55,000 home sellers received 62 million in refunds from Opendoor. That number was just announced in April. We covered it on a previous Real Word. So this language coming from Mr. Cooper and how they're positioning this acquisition of Xome is sounding similar to those claims that you don't need agents, you don't need education, you don't need guidance, you don't need representation.
Right.
You just need us and our .com, which would be Xome, XOME.com, an online real estate auction marketplace. It's launching a DIY sales platform for investors. Okay. Platform users will not need to use a real estate agent to complete their transaction, according to an announcement from the firm Wednesday. That's reading from the Brooklyn Hahn piece in HW. Okay. Xome is an indirect, wholly owned subsidiary of Mr. Cooper Group that provides mortgage services with the end-to-end. Explain to you what Mr. Cooper Group does. The CEO of Xome says, we anticipate that the real estate landscape is going to continue evolve rapidly. He's pointing towards what's going on in the industry. And Xome plans to be at the forefront of that change. Investors are looking for properties when it comes to buying or selling a home. So Xome has been historically positioned towards investors.
Yeah, they use the word investors. They're not primarily this entire article.
Right. And so they're talking about investors. They want to be more in control of the process. That's the reason we're constantly optimizing our platform to meet buyers and sellers, not only where they're at, where they are, but where they want to be. Okay. So buyers and sellers for investors to come and buy these properties through this mortgage option. Okay. So that was the comment in the quote towards to Housing Wire from the CEO of Xome. Xome has obviously a history that they've been around. But when you go to the press release from Mr. Cooper, Xome's new self-service capability allows investors, so they're saying investors as well, list with ease, maximize visibility, achieve optimal value, get expert support. Xome's team of real estate professionals available to assist sellers every step of the way. So you can use the Xome team, don't need to use the local real estate agent to be able to get that done. So they're trying to cut agents out of the investor marketplace. Xome.com website's beautiful. Very nice website. Find your next home on Xome. So they're also looking to attract buyers. They have an MLS, aggregate there as well, IDX feed into Xome. So you can find properties, both auction and not on auction. You can find foreclosure sales. Selling is simplified. Okay. The language on Xome.com doesn't say that that's just for investors. They've been around 4 years. They've done 16 billion in sales. They claim to be the #1 visited home auction site. We know how those numbers can be disputed for sure. So Nicole, is Xome going to stop here with investors, or are they coming for as much of it as they can get?
Oh, I mean, isn't everyone going out for as much as they can get?
I would say so. Yeah.
I've used Xome before.
And your experience was?
It was fine. Again, I've done, like, obviously there's multiple sites to buy foreclosures. This one just, again, was where the auction was going on. I think the only real downside to it was just the buyer premium, because my buyer had to pay for the commissions. So obviously sort of lost a little bit of their buying power there, but I didn't have a problem with it. They were easy to work with. Yeah.
Agents looking to stand out from the crowd, Reminder Media is a resource you have to check out. You get your own branded print and digital magazines, email newsletters, and social media content. Reminder Media delivers these resources to your contacts on autopilot, keeping you top of mind with your database. All you need to do is focus on your follow-up calls and watch referrals and repeat business come in. I just started using this service and I'm already seeing results from this after only a few weeks. Use the link below to try out Reminder Media.
It'll be interesting. And I think that's where agents need to make decisions on obviously how they're setting up their business, right? There's going to be a lot of these, and we've seen this before. We've seen discounts and there's been a debate about how well those have worked out over the course of the last 20 years. Obviously, Zillow's language has changed from day one to today, certainly recognizing the value of agents.
Right.
If they're going to focus solely on investors, this could be a smart business model. I think if they're going to just stay focused on that, on helping that customer, because you get a very sophisticated investor, particularly somebody who's done maybe, dozens or hundreds of transactions. They know exactly what they're looking for. They know their numbers. They're able to go online, make their bid. It certainly could work in that regard. A lot of investors won't sign exclusively anyways. You bring me the deal, I'll do the deal with you, and then you get the listing. That's how a lot of
it would just
investors roll.
be access. Like we're going back to like scanning like your card, your card, your driver's license and all.
Scanning your car. I don't know. What does that mean?
No, I mean, again, just obviously getting access. Like there would be an addition. There'd be some steps for that buyer in order to gain access, though, to the house.
There would be steps.
Yeah.
Potentially, maybe less down the road. I mean, that's some of the stuff that's being debated. So, anyways, figured I'd share that with you guys. We wanted to share that with you guys. The Xome transaction. Maybe get some more of your thoughts down in the comments. Love to see what you're thinking there. And a couple big website moves, I guess, here in the last week. So there you go. That's the real word. Love to see you guys join me on Thursday, Nicole. I have a live YouTube event with Mr. Tom Toole and Ben Balak from Beverly Hills. We're doing objection handling right here.
There you go.
On the BAM YouTube channel. So go down and hit subscribe. If you're listening to the real word here on YouTube, it'll be Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you're listening, by the way, on Spotify or Apple, thank you. Love for you to consider leaving a review. Jump over to the YouTube channel and hit subscribe over there, and don't miss that objection handling. That'll be the only place you get that Thursday live at 3 o'clock. And the only place that you're going to get really the information that you need to be the agent of change at a live event would be in Las Vegas, Nevada, October the 18th, circa Las Vegas. All I'm going to say is look up circa Las Vegas.
Okay.
Do it, Nicole, right now. Look up circa.
Yeah.
Look up Legacy Club. Look at that pool with the the biggest outdoor screen in Vegas ever.
Okay.
And tell me you don't want to just hang out there at a BAM event. Okay. Right now we're in early bird pricing. Okay. If you're a BAM X member, you get an extra 25% off of that low early bird pricing. So hit the link down below to join us, BAM Mania, on October the 18th. Circa is a brand.
It's like on the top of the building.
It's a brand new venue and it's insane.
It looks pretty cool.
Haley will put a couple photos up. Join us there. Join us, obviously, for the objection handling on Thursday. And then for the real word, of course.
It's attached to I've never been to Vegas. I've never been.
Well, you'll be there in October.
Oh, boy.
And we'll see you guys, obviously, next week on the real word. Thank you so much, by the way, for all your support on the real word. Nicole, we are just blowing the walkthrough pod out of the water.
Out of the water.
I'd love to see, if you're still listening to this point, I'd love to see some comments down below about how much more you like the real word better than the walkthrough.
I would definitely sit at this pool.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Ooh, and it has like fake grass.
It's got it all.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's your pod for this week. Keep it real. And Nicole, I'll see you we'll be doing the pod in person next week.
I'm excited. Yeah.
All right.
See you guys.
At BAMX, we listen to what real estate professionals want and need. That's why our platform is filled with sought-after courses, content, and tactical assets for your business. And that's why we launched BAMX in a box with templates and scripts done for you, delivered each Friday. The best part? It's not coming from panel pontificators who bought their followers and don't sell any real estate. It's coming from top agents, team leaders, and content creators in the industry. It's education that actually shows you how to do what you need in today's market. And now it includes editable templates and scripts so you can easily deliver that knowledge to your database. Every day, we continue to add more content into BAMX, into our private Facebook community, content that works, content that our members have exclusive access to daily. So do not wait any longer. Use code REALWORD and join the thousands of agents taking their business to the next level today. Code REALWORD for 10% off. I'll see you in BAMX.